A day after Pakistan's Defence Minister Khwaja Asif declared an open war against Afghanistan, he has now urged Afghanistan not to allow militants to use its territory to operate against Pakistan. Now, this comes after as a heavy fighting continues along the frontier. US has backed Pakistan's right to defend itself, while UN has called for an immediate ceasefire. In a direct address to Afghan Taliban leader Sirajuddin Haqqani, Khwaja Asif has reminded him of Pakistan's decades-long hospitality and support for Afghanistan during the Soviet Union-Afghanistan war. In a post on X, Asif said that Pakistan hosted Haqqani, his family, and millions of Afghan refugees who continue to live inside Pakistan. Recalling the period after September 11th attacks, he said Pakistan supported NATO logistics, but later faced allegations that it facilitated the Haqqani network. He reminded Afghanistan that Pakistan once took rival Afghan factions to Mecca for reconciliation, but now faces violence from the very same groups, allegedly operating across the border. As tensions escalate, Pakistan says it carried out aerial strikes on 29 locations across Afghanistan, including the capital Kabul and the Taliban stronghold of Kandahar. According to Pakistan, 297 Taliban officials and militants were killed. They also claimed that 89 checkposts were destroyed. 18 were captured and 136 tanks and armoured vehicles were taken out. Afghan Taliban says it has responded with fresh strikes on Pakistani, including border posts in Khost and Paktia. Afghanistan's Taliban-led defence ministry released satellite footage showing strikes on multiple compounds inside Pakistan. According to reports, targets included a military camp near Faizabad in Islamabad, a headquarters in Nowshera, and facilities in Jamrud and Abbottabad. Local media reported mortars were also fired into civilian areas. Pakistani officials, however, reportedly claimed that drones were intercepted by air defence systems with no casualties reported.
Following their attacks, according to the casualty figures we have collected up to this morning, we have 13 mujahideen martyred in this fighting and 22 wounded. In one area, 13 civilians were also wounded. Current reports indicate that in Paktika, civilians have also suffered casualties, with several people killed and injured, but the exact number is not yet confirmed.
In the Jaji Maidan district of Khost province, Taliban armed forces have positioned D-10 howitzer artillery with munitions near the Pakistan border. The development follows clashes between Taliban fighters and Pakistani border forces, raising fears of further escalation along the frontier.
The operations carried out by our mujahideen, thank God, were highly successful, and a large number of Pakistan posts were destroyed. If Pakistan once again takes such an action, we are ready once more, with our lives and our wealth.
The clashes also forced the closure of the Torkham border crossing, a vital trade route between Pakistan and Afghanistan, leaving long lines of trucks loaded with goods stranded on the roads. Residents described it as a night of terror as shelling forced children and families to flee in panic.
What happened last night was horrific. The Taliban fired heavily from the Afghan side, causing immense suffering to the women and children here.
Meanwhile, the United States has expressed support for Pakistan's right to defend itself against Taliban attacks. But UK, the United Nations and the Red Cross are urging immediate de-escalation. Diplomats from China, Saudi Arabia and Qatar are working behind the scenes to calm tensions. Iran has also weighed in, called on both sides to respect sovereignty and refrain from further escalation. The US mission has issued a security advisory in Pakistan. It warned that due to heightened tensions, Pakistani security forces have increased their presence in major cities. It claimed that law enforcement facilities, military installations and major commercial centers remained likely targets for terrorist organizations. It also urged American citizens to exercise caution when visiting these locations, especially during peak hours.